Hey guys, Stuart mainly Vandus. Hope everybody's doing well today, as well as they can anyway. It's Labor Day 2019. Floridians are just going crazy this last week. It's just, I mean, the forecasters, saying this thing's gonna hammer the state, and then now they're saying it's gonna turn. Now they're saying, it's stalled over the Bahamas right now. They don't know what the heck's going on. These hurricanes have a mind of their own. They can do whatever they want. I've been through many hurricanes here in the state of Florida, and there's been many times where they've just changed at the last minute, within hours of their projected path. Charlie did it in 2004. Irma most recently in a couple of years ago, and we got to be prepared around here. As you can tell, I still got my plants up. um, Here in Central Florida, we still got another couple days before this thing really is going to come and hit us, if it does come and hit us. So today I'm gonna make some big time preparations, and tomorrow even I'm gonna make some preparations as well. I've already made some, but the majority of these plants are gonna come inside with me, and the rest that I can't bring in or whatever, they're just gonna be laid on the ground. And that's what I've done in the past. And they've held up pretty well. I'm gonna go ahead and spray some fungicides on them, spray some insecticides on them. These hurricanes bring in a lot of stuff from, they traveled all the way from Africa, so they've brought in a lot of stuff along the way, traveling across the Atlantic as well, that can affect our plants pretty bad. So just make sure you have a plan in place. Obviously, you can tell from our structure up here that I got some nice some cross beams. Those are 2x6s up there. This thing is built to, it's been through a couple hurricanes already. I got hurricane straps all over it, so hopefully this thing doesn't go anywhere. Like I said, it's been through a couple hurricanes already. So it is what it is. We're just gonna kind of brace for the worst, and pray and hope that everything goes okay. But anyway, behind me, guys, you can see these blooms going on. It's crazy right now. So I'm gonna go ahead and do a video on these blooms, let you know what they're all about. And I'm gonna be doing this every month, right around the first of the month, just to give you guys an idea of what's going on and what you should expect monthly going on. So let's get on with it. Alright guys, so you can see from this video, I got quite a few things blooming right now. This is just a sample, basically what I have going on. I'm just gonna go through briefly and let you guys see everything. So we're gonna go ahead and start off with a really super nice tessellata. This is a tessellata species. I guess you can call it a semi-alba if you want to. Really super nice blooms. It's got some little bit of the wavy petals here. Some tessellatas have that. Some tessellatas have more of a flat petals. The newer breeds that are coming out have more of the flat petals. But you can tell that this is a tessellata. It's got the little hooks on the side here. Got the little hooks, and you'll see on the inside, it's hard to see here, but there's a little W right in there, and that's how you can tell it's a real species. Also, it'll have a nice cup. Underneath the lip. And I'll go ahead and link a video that I have on describing the tessellata species and how you can tell if you have a real species or not. So okay, so here is an example of Memoria Tian Chai. This particular flower, this particular hybrid is used to make the MV tannins, which I'm going to show you in a little bit here. So here's one version of the Memorial Tian Chai, and then here's another version of Memorial Tian Chai. So you can tell a pretty big difference if I bring these plants up next to each other, that the color is a lot different in them. The fullness and the roundness of the flower is a lot different. They're still both beautiful in their own way. If I had to pick and choose one, I would probably go with this one. It's a lot rounder and fuller. You know, the color seems to be a little bit more saturated too in the flowers. So basically what you would do to get the MV tannins is you would take this flower and you would cross it onto a lamelletta. With the MV tannins, they actually use the lamelletta boxalii. This is the lamelletta remediosa. So the boxalia is more of a white and a red with a little bit of purple in it type flower, but it looks similar to this shape and size. So this is a nice lamelletta species here. It blooms all the time. Very fragrant too. So, and I might add the Memorial Tian Chai is fragrant as well too. So here's what you get as a result for crossing those two plants, albeit the lamelletta is a boxalii. So you get something like this. You know, very, very nice flowers, fragrant flowers. You can see the color shining through. So, you know, it's they're spectacular. And I got several in bloom right now. Here's another one right here. You can tell they got similar shape, however the colors are dramatically different. So, you know, that's what you get in a seedling. Here's actually another MV tannins right here, and you can tell that, you know, the difference in the colors are just crazy. This is actually another MV tannins, and this is actually the clone that's been going around. This has got an AMAOS award on it, with the clonal name Kirk, named after Kirk, who a good friend of ours took it in and got it awarded. So this is now awarded with an AM. You can tell why. I mean, it's got nice full flowers, petals and dorsal sepals, and just crazy. So super nice, super fragrant. Okay, so actually we're gonna stick on the topic of Memorial Tian Chai, and here's another one. This is actually Rhynchostylus gigantea crossed over with Memorial Tian Chai, and I mean, you can see the yellow really came through, but these nice patches of red came through from the gigantea, and the gigantea lip also came through some. You know, this flower I'm very, very pleased with this flower. I believe this is a clone going around too right now, but I mean, I just couldn't believe it. And I didn't know that the flowers were going to be this big either. So I thought they were going to be a lot smaller, like gigantea size, but I mean, these are really, really impressive. So I'm very happy with that, and it's fragrant also. So here's a Rhyncho Cole Marie. You see these going around. There's another one out there that's very, very similar to this. I can't remember the name right now, but it's super similar to this, and the color is similar, and the shape and everything. But this is a Cole Marie. You know, it's a gigantea type. You can tell by the leaves. You know, just spectacular. Very, very, very fragrant. So we're gonna back up here and go over here. This one. So this is. I mean, listen, guys. All these plants are my favorites, but you know, there are some that are just absolutely blow my mind and are spectacular, and this is one of them. This is a Mimi Palmer crossed over with a Cerulean. Okay, so I mean, it's absolutely insane. It blooms all the time. You know, the colors that came out on this, the shape with the twisted, a little bit of the twisted petals from the Cerulean came out on this. The Mimi Palmer tessellations came out. I mean, just amazing. Blooms all the time too. So, okay, so I got a couple of Renantheras blooming right now too. Renantheras, however you want to say it. But the color is so hard to come out on this video. But I mean, it is so vibrant red. This is actually a Rhynchostylus Bangkok Beauty, and I mean, look at this thing. It brightens your space up so much. Now these plants like a lot of sun. You know, I was fortunate enough not to burn this plant. I had to move it a few months ago because it wasn't getting enough sun. It wasn't blooming, and everybody else's were blooming, and I was getting a little upset, so I moved it. and to a little bit more sunnier location, and voila, you know, the thing bloomed. So don't be afraid to move your plants some. You can drape some Spanish moss over them to compensate for some of that sun, in hopes that, you know, you won't burn the leaves. But, you know, if you do burn the leaves, you know, it's not the end of the world. You can cut those off. The thing's going to grow back. Well, the leaves might not grow back. They're not going to grow back, but the plant itself will. Okay, guys, so here is a new species for us that we tried to grow, and we successfully got it to bloom. It's I mean, this thing is crazy. I didn't know what to expect. Like I said, this is my first time growing this. As you can see, the spike goes and goes and goes and goes and goes and goes and goes down to here. Okay, here's the spike. Here's where it starts. This thing started spiking in January of this year, January 2019, and it took forever. Okay, this is a Starochilus luzona incense, and it's got a nice little flower on it. It's fragrant. It is just cool. I mean, it's one of those cool little species to have. Something, you know, that not very many people have. You know, I was able to find this at Redland a few years ago, and, you know, I'm super happy that I was able to get it to bloom. I was hoping for a little bit more flowers along the stems here, and that's okay. You know, maybe next bloom I'll be able to get that. So I'm gonna keep trying, guys. You know, like I said, I'm super happy with this species, and it's something rare you don't see in collections very often at all. So okay, so you may be wondering, what in the heck is this thing right here? And this is a giant, and I mean giant, Phalaenopsis. Actually, it's Phalaenopsis gigantea. So as you can see, it is humongous, and it has flowers on it. So if you've seen this, if you follow me on Facebook or Instagram or anything like that, mainly Vandas is our tag name, you've seen this, me post pictures of this. I mean, it is just incredible. You know, look, wow, the thing is huge. I don't know really much what else to say about this, you know, except that it is just absolutely stunning, and I am just super glad that I'm able to have this in my collection. You know, not very many people can grow them to this size. I bought it about a couple years ago, and I've been able to keep it alive. You know, this plant likes it a little bit drier than most Phalaenopsis. You know, I do water, don't get me wrong, a couple times a week, but you know, I'll let this plant dry out really well before I water it again. You know, you can see the leaves are a little dehydrated, but you know, these things are susceptible to rot, and I'd much rather have my leaves look a little dehydrated like that than to allow this plant to get rot. So, you know, as you can see, it's got a new little leaf here coming out, and so apparently I'm doing something right with it. So okay, back to the Vandas. So this is a nice primary hybrid. This is Sandriana and Cerulean. This is Vanda Rothschildiana. I mean, one of our all-time favorite purples here. The thing is just great. So here's actually another primary hybrid. This is actually tricolor and Sandriana crossed over with Sandriana as well. And you know, it's very, very, very fragrant. This flower is super nice. You know, you can see that it got the lip from the tricolor, and the colors from the tricolor, and the spots from the tricolor. You know, very happy with this. I've seen other crosses of this, and it doesn't even come close to this one right here. The other ones are kind of muddy and yucky looking. This one turned out to be really nice. We got some interesting things coming that we have crossed onto this one, so hopefully we're gonna make some nice stuff with this. Here's a little cutie. This is actually a Moats Pixie Dust. This is I mean, this thing blooms all the time. I mean, look at this little thing. I mean, I don't know how much better you can get with some of these miniatures that Moats is coming out with. They're just really super nice. They bloom all the time. They bloom on small plants. I mean, you know, they've really hit some home runs lately with some of this stuff, and you know, they should be proud of themselves with some of these breedings that they're coming out with. So just absolutely amazing. Can't get much better really than that, to be honest with you. So okay, so here's a really nice Vietnamica hybrid. I don't remember the other name of this, so I'll have to get it for you guys. I apologize. But I mean, this is probably the most fragrant Vanda I have in my entire collection. It is insane. The deep, rich, saturated green, yellowy colors on this. The nice white lip. This plant blooms all the time. I'm super happy with this. Here's actually a species you don't see very often. So this is Vanda mendaniosis. I probably just butchered the name. So very similar to Vanda scandens, but it's not. So it's very, very nice. This was described by Moats, Dr. Moats, and he was kind enough to share a plant with me quite a few years ago now of this, and you know, I don't think I've seen it in anybody else's collection, and I'm very proud to have a plant of this. So very, very nice. Here's another one of our Renantheras. Just crazy. I mean, brightened up the space like crazy. Lucneri, Vandica stylus Lucneri, blooming its little heart out. This is Patchara Sunspot. Great colors on this one. Blooms a few times a year. This is actually a really nice one too. The colors on this one are just crazy. I can't get over it every time it blooms. The flowers are really nice. This is Gold Paranthum times Cerulean. Came out really super nice. I mean, look at that head of flowers on that. So, I mean, really spectacular. Really nice. This is actually a Paravanda Carlos Ochoa. This is a energenetic hybrid. This is Paraphalaenopsis leikakii times Escocinda laxki. We actually just got an award on this at Redland. I believe it was an HCC award. So we gave it the colonial name MV Red Diablos, which means the little red devils. So pretty cool little flower. Blooms constantly throughout the years, so puts on a nice head of flowers. But alright guys, so you know, there's basically what I got going on. As you can see, quite a bit of stuff. Very beautiful. It is getting closer to the end of summer, so there's quite a few things blooming. You know, more than likely we're going to see a little bit of a slowdown on some of these blooms, and then come the first cold front, you'll start getting some spikes on your Vandas again. So you know, if you don't have anything blooming right now, that's okay. Just keep doing what you're doing, and you know, or if you have any questions or anything like that, or if you can't get a Vanda to bloom, go ahead and ask the questions, guys. I'll be more than happy to answer them, and you know, we can get you guys on down the road to blooming some stuff like this. So appreciate your time watching the video, guys. Stay safe during the storm, please. Thank you very much.